Okay, so we're going to review a few things. We're going to go over some of the tools that we used in previous session, and we're going to do a couple of new things. So first thing is, is for me, is to put on my computer glasses. Got to put on my computer glasses. And let's go ahead and open up the Tuka program. So if it's on the Tuka program should be on your desktop. Just simply double click on it and it will open up. I have my program open already. And so I am going to share my screen with you. And yeah, so we made a t-shirt, right? We made a t-shirt pattern. We need to complete our t-shirt pattern by making a neckband. We're going to make a neckband for our t-shirt. So we're simply going to go to the rectangle tool again. We're going to name the piece neckband. And oh, look at there. I don't have my capitals on, so I'm going to do that over neckband because I like my my wording, my text in all capitals. So our neckband will be about 1 inch wide, and we're going to take half of the total neck. We can just simply look at our front neck and our back neck measurements. I have my measurements on. That is the function key F8, where you can see all your segment line measurements. F8. View all your segment line measurements. And so I can see that my front neck is about 5 inches, back neck is about 3.5. So that's about 8.5. So I'm going to say 8.5. Look at that. Somebody can't see. 8.5. 8.5. I'm going to okay that and see there is my rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I know that I want this rectangle to, that's half. So I have a 1 inch width that I want my finished neckband, but you can mirror only once with a piece for your finished piece. So I'm going to start off by mirroring this piece because I'm setting half because I want my neckband, it's going to fold over. Then I have to, so before I open it, I'm going to add the notches for my front length. So I'm going to notch and I'm going to sit down. This area here will be my center front. This will be my sewing edge to the neck, and this will be my center back. So from my center front, I'm going to add a notch, and my front is about 5.05. Uh, so from my previous point, I want 5.059, something like that, right? Okay. And then this measurement is pretty close to my back neck. See, it's 3.44, back neck is 3.6. That's very, very close. So now that I have, you know what? Also, because that manila color really is, I can't hardly see my points. I'm going to go ahead and select the tool to clear my function. I'm going to double click inside the neckband and the piece info chart comes up. I'm going to go ahead and fill the chart in. So it's going to be cut 1. And in the material area, it is going to be our contrast because it is in a rib fabric. I'm centering the grain. I know that this is a small piece, so I'm going to rotate my can't see that. I'm going to rotate my text. So I'm going to say minus 90 degrees. It's not paired, so it's on none. And I'm going to apply that. And now I have a different color here for my neckband. Let's go ahead and close piece info. So now what I want to do is I want to open up the neckband. So I want to go up here to open half, click, and there it is, open. Because I'm opening that because I want to mirror this center front line. I want to mirror the center front line. So I'm simply going to, before I mirror that, I'm going to let the computer fix my grain line because I want to delete the 2 points that are on there. So I'm going to go to fix grain line and it put it on top. So I'm going to have to zoom up to see those points. I'm going to have to move the internal myself. I'm going to touch the grain line, pick it up and move it because I want to see, select tool to clear that. I want to get rid of these points. So I'm just simply going to touch those internals and delete it. Notice that my wording is upside down. I'm going to go back inside, double click. Apparently I didn't put the minus sign. I didn't put the minus sign. I'm going to apply it and see how it switched directions. Okay, so now I want to set half to my neckband because this is my center front and this is where I want the mirror line to be on my piece. I'm going to go ahead and go to notch. I'm going to add a outside V notch. It's already set. On the top and the bottom, except, okay. We're going to add seam allowance, and we want our seam allowance clockwise around the piece. It's all the same. We want it to be 0.25, a quarter of an inch. Okay, there we have it. This neckband matches exactly to the neck, but for a rib fabric, we want our neckband to be smaller because rib stretches more than your jersey fabric. So what we're going to do, I'm going to actually, because I'm going to do 2 types of reducing of this neckband. So I'm going to copy this neckband. I'm going to copy, and then it's the neckband I'm copying, it's highlighted in white, and then I'm going to paste it down. I'm going to get my move piece tool. I'm going to pick a corner and move this neckband where I want it. Okay, so I have just doubled it. It's named neckband -1. So for our original neckband, select tool, get out of that function. I'm just going to go to multiple move, and I am simply going to grab the area. So this is the front neck area that I want to reduce about 3/4 of an inch minus 0.75. And I'm going to okay that. And I reduce that area about 0.7. In the center back, I want to reduce that area. So I'm just going to grab these 2 points, or it's actually 3. I'm going to reduce it minus 0.5, minus a ½ inch. And notice that reduced. So now my measurement information on my neckband is I think it's 4.3 something. My original neck was 5 something. And then in the back, it's almost 3 inches, 2.9, and this was 3.4. So this neckband is now reduced and it is the contrast now. So now we're going to learn something new. We're going to make sure we highlight the piece we want to be on. It's white. The other pieces are outlined in green. So this one is highlighted white. It is the piece that we're on. We're going to go to piece, the word piece up at the very top. And we're going to come down to scale and shrink. We're going to select that. So we want, right now the computer is telling us the value of this piece. So on the x-axis, it's 2. On the y-axis, it's 8.5. What we want to do is we want to reduce this neckband proportionally um, with a percentage. So we're going to reduce it 14 or 15%, depending on the stretch of your fabric. So right now, we're just going to say reduce on the Y axis. We're going to say minus 15%, minus 15%. And notice the changes that were made here in the incremental. So that means we're reducing it. This incremental is the distance that will be reducing that. The 15% is, we'll be reducing it 1.275. So I have I want to make sure I say I want the shrinkage reduction on the current piece only. I could have said all pieces. If I was doing it to entire pieces on the screen, I could say all. I do not want to scale my seam. I do not want that checked. I want my seam allowance to stay what it is. But I do want to add the scale information to the piece description. So I will click that, and when we say okay, we will have additional information about this neckband, about the shrinkage that we put on the neckband. So we just reduced this neckband from what it was. It was about 8.5 inches. So we're going to get our measuring ruler. From the center, it was 8.5 inches, and now it is 7.25. So it is, this is the second way you can reduce. You can just figure it out by the inches, or you can reduce in percentages. So this is a complete pattern now. We want to, for a complete pattern, I need to take off one of these neckbands. So I'm just going to delete the original one, the first one. So I'm going to say delete the piece from the style. Because if you have extra pieces in your piece area, the person that's going to do your yardage estimates, they're going to include that. So you can only have what you want in your pattern pieces. So notice our piece description has our scale information. Okay. And what we're going to do now is we are going to do a yardage estimate. So we want to save this. We want to save this. It's already saved as the style number, SL100. It's saved as the style number right here in the corner. And so I'm just going to say save. I don't have to say save as. So my piece is now saved. What I want to do is now we have a self and we have contrast. So if I want to do a yardage estimate for my rib, say my rib is 44 inches wide, I'm going to go to edit, arrange work area. I'm going to say piece with this material only. I'm going to say that I want my my width 44 inches and the gap is a ½ inch. So I'm going to okay that, and it becomes the only piece on the screen. And notice that my ruler is at 44. My ruler here is at 44. And I'm going to grab a guideline. I'm going to put it at the widest part, and I can zoom up and see that this is about 2.5 inches. So you divide 36 into just 2.5, and that is your yardage estimate for your contrast. So now we're going to just click on the front. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to set it, edit, arrange work area. Now that I'm highlighted on the front, I can say all the pieces with this material, and I'm going to change my frame width to 58. So that's as if my fabric is 58 inches cuttable. And all the pieces that were within, look what I just did. I'm sorry, undo. I was trying to delete the guideline, but since I'm used to that red X, but let's go ahead and go to Tools and we'll customize and take off the large buttons. I'm going to okay that because I was trying to go for this X over here. It's reducing my guidelines. So I just want to get that one out of the way so I can pick up a new one. You know what I forgot to do? And I noticed it because I'm only seeing one sleeve. So I'm going to go back to edit. I'm going to go back to arrange work area, and I have to say scatter the piece. That is going to open up all of your paired pieces. And now um, uh, I have my two sleeves showing on the screen. So I'm going to go to the widest part, the highest part of the and I'm going to zoom up so I can see the number here. And it is about 32 and a quarter. So what I would do is I would divide, and I'm going to move the guide up, to line up just a little bit, and it maybe 32 and a half. You divide 36 into 32 and a half, and that is your yardage estimate. So this t-shirt takes less than 1 yard, less than 1 yard. And that completed the review for our t-shirt. But what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the next section, and we're going to go ahead and we're going from this t-shirt, we're going to say File, Save As, and I actually have already started making the next one. So I'm going to change this to 1, but I don't want to overwrite. I do not want to overwrite all of these pieces. So I'm going to say 1, and I'm just going to say 1A. So I don't overwrite it, and that is going to be my style number, because some of the things that we're going to do, I've already done. I'm just going to do a demonstration on this one, then we'll pull the other one up. So we're going to get rid of our guidelines. We're going to go back to edit. We're going to arrange the work area again. And if we wanted to plot this out, we're going to put it on the plotter with paper. And we're going to say, okay, I'm going to go back to edit because I forgot to unscatter. Now I do not need to see I do not need to see the paired sleeve on the screen. So what I'm going to do for this one, notice that you can move your pattern pieces with the select tool, but it's better to move it into an exact area, going back to the large buttons. I'm going to okay that by the move piece, and picking up a point and sitting it down where you want. Okay. So now we're going to go on into making that next style. And we're going to make a shirt, right? We're going to make a shirt. So we're going to let's make a longer sleeve, and we're simply going to go to the select tool. We're going to select the hem points, and we're going to extend our hem down, say about let's say 3 more inches. So we're going to say okay. It's already highlighted. Zoom up, already highlighted, and we're going to go to seam, and we're going to let the computer turn back our hem. And we also want a larger seam allowance for this style. So we're going to go 1 1/4, and we're going to let the computer turn back our seams. Notice the angle now matches the garment for our hem turn up. Okay, we're going to adjust our grain. We're going to fix it, let the computer fix it for us, or we could have moved it ourselves. So with this, we're going to make our body a little bit wider. So we're just going to put bounding box around both front and back in the area between that you want your growth to be. So this is a shirt, so we want it larger than our t-shirt. So we're going to add about 3/4 of an inch. And make it a bit bigger. We're going to make our armholes. And if I want to capture my armholes at the same time, I need to put them like on the same level so I can grab the area. So I want to take multiple moves because I want to move them horizontally. And I want to make a bounding box here. And I'm going to say I want my armhole to be about 3/4 of an inch longer now. So I'm also changing my body length. So I lengthened the body and the armhole 3/4. And I want my shirt length to be a bit longer as well. I can either take the multiple points and say -2. I think I'm going that way. Yeah, -2. Or I can go to select tool to clear my function, and I can select my hem, and I can say extend parallel. It's already on a measurement. I think it was on 3, but I was on 2. I want 2. And now my side seam should be the same length. And so I have a new length. I have a new length to my body, and my armhole is lengthened. Now I need to extend my sleeve because I've added 3/4 of an inch more on the front and the back armhole. So I can do that in various ways. I can go to I don't think we've used multiple move. So in multiple move, it will move your points kind of any way you want. So you have to select the points that you want to move. So I'm going to go from our underarm to above the notch. And I'm going to just pick this area up, and I see I can move this any way I want. But I really just want to move it vertically about 3/4 of an inch. So in my chart, in the distance for the points and the grade points that I selected, the underarm point and the front notch point, I'm going to say that distance is 0.75, and it's the same for the 0.75. And on my x-axis, I want that to be 0. I want it to be 0. So that I'm going to apply it. It will show you. You can look and see if that's what you want, and then you can okay it. Okay, that's one way to do it. So that was moving points, a little bit different than a multiple move. Okay, so for this side, I end up simply going to get a multiple move, and I'm going to make a bounding box around the points that I want to move. And I'm going to, on the y-axis, I'm going to say -0.75, -0.75. And there is our movement. So maybe I do want to move our hem out a bit. And if you want to have a little shape to your hem, you can add a point. I'm going to eye this out. I'm going to add a curve point. I'm going to add a curve point on this side. I like to keep my grade point in the center so I can know the half measurement of a sleeve as well. So I'm going to go with move point again. And I'm going to, I just want to shape this a little bit. I'm going to shape it. Notice that I can move any direction with move point until I set it down. I'm just going to take where it is, and I'm just going to adjust. Uh-oh, I got to zoom up, guys. I got to zoom up so I can see that because I didn't catch the point, right? Or do I have 2 points on there now? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my, I did F9 because I don't want to stand up. Okay, just let me zoom up here and catch the point. So I apparently have 2 points on there. And there it is right there. See, it's under the number, and I can't see that. So you all see I have a little issue with seeing these small. Okay, so this, I'm just shaping this a bit. And when you don't like something, you can just go ahead. It's a point there that I don't like, so I'm just going to delete it. And then I get a nice smoother line. So notice now I've only worked on this half, and I want to just go ahead and copy this half of the sleeve to this half so they can sew together properly. So I'm going to go from my grade point. I'm going to get my tail, and I'm going to go to the area that I want, the point that I want to copy to. I'm going to go to segment, and I'm going to copy the segment, and my chart comes up here. And so I have the options to flip on the X. Here is what I copied. I have the option to flip it on the X. If I do that, it flips this way, okay? So I'm gonna flip it back. So I want it as is. What I want is I want to flip it on the Y. I want to flip it on the Y, okay? And that's what I want. But notice this red mark here, that's the start point. So we have to still do everything in the clockwise motion. So we want the start point to move from the sleeve hem to the sleeve underarm. So we're going to say start point, and it will automatically move to the other point, the first point. So that's what we want. Now we're going to highlight the area that we want to copy, and we're going to paste it proportionally. We're going to paste it proportionally and check out the movement. Now check out what happened with the hem. So it discontinued the seam allowance from this side. So now we have to go back and get seam allowance, adjust our seam allowance, and make it 1.25. And we're going to let the computer do the turn back. We're going to say, okay, that's a new sleeve for us, a new shape for a sleeve. So let's put the other pieces back on the screen. And for this, this exercise, we no longer need the neckband, but we're going to make this neckband. Instead of creating a new square, we're just going to take this piece here, and we're going to double click inside of it. We're going to change, say we want this to be, instead of rib, we want our collar to be self. We want our collar to be self. We're going to go ahead and apply that. It is now self. We're going to, this is going to be a shirt. So we're going to delete the mirror. Make sure you're on the one that you want to delete. Let's close this. Make sure you're on the one that you want is highlighted in white, the one you want to delete half. There it is, deleted half. And we're going to go back and move. So I think we did about a ½ inch in the back. Now it has to sew exact. So we're just going to say about 5. I'm not going to concentrate too much on the measurements now. I'm just trying to review. I don't want to take all your time. Okay. So that's about our front length, our notch, and then we can, we're going to end up making a collar, right? And so we're going to go ahead and delete these notches, just touch the end of the notch. So right now, and also let's clear out this piece information. We no longer need that. It's not appropriate for this. We're going to apply that, and now that's gone. We also need to change it from neckband to collar. We could have did this from a rectangle, but we already had one already established. So we're going to just go ahead and use what we have, right? And now I'm going to zoom up and delete this notch. I'm going to delete the notch, but I'm going to keep the point. I like that point. And I'm going to just shape this as I would a collar. So this time I'm going to add some curve points. It's on curve. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to add a couple of curve points. I'm going to say, okay. And the type of collar that I'm going to do is I'm going to make my collar extend downward a bit. So I'm going to take multiple, move points. So I'm going to select all the points that I want to move. And at the gray point, I'm going to move this down, say just about a ½ inch, 0.5. And the y-axis is, it's okay to move whatever it did. I am now going to make my collar. Let me get out of the function there. I'm going to move on to multiple move, and I'm going to add about an inch, 1.5 to this collar width. And I'm going to also delete this point here. Does that look like a collar? So I need to blend down a little bit here to make this look more like a collar. So I'm going to go minus 0.25. Okay. So some collars, and then I'm just going to go move point, eye this out for my point on the collar, maybe about 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch. That just depends on how much point you want on your collar. And that kind of looks like a collar. And then we're going to set half, and we're going to make sure our notches are at the center back. This is now the center back of the collar. I want the castle notch. I want the castle notch at the center back, but at the top, I want the outside V-notch. I'm still working in knit fabric, so my seam allowance for my collar is 1/4 of an inch. Okay. So here we have a collar, and now we need to adjust our front. So we're going to move these pieces out of the way. We're going to delete half off of our front. We're going to fix our grain line, get it out of the way. We're going to zoom up so we can see the neck, and we're going to touch the end of the notch, and we're going to delete it. Right now, this the front is exactly at center. So I'm going to extend my front. I'm going to extend parallel by going from my neck point to my hem point, and I am going to simply extend. I'm going to make my extension 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go 0.75. That's 3/4 of an inch. That's okay. But I want to put a notch where my center front is. So I'm going to back off from the next point is 0.75. Okay. So I made an extension. And now, you know what? Let's go ahead and put seam allowance on my extension here. We're going to just do we're going to do a quarter of an inch, because we're going to make a facing. Let's go ahead and make a facing, right? So sometimes when you have a collar, you want to make a facing, sometimes you can do a turn back. If I simply wanted to do a turn back, I could change my seam allowance from 1/4 to maybe like 1.5. And I can just say turn back, and I can say okay. Okay. I also have the option, if that's a turning back one time like your hem, I also have the option, going back to seam allowance, to do a double seam. I'm going to apply that, and it will turn back twice. Turn back twice. Okay. So now we're going to unclick double seam and apply that, and it went away. And I'm going to unclick turn back and change my seam allowance back to 1/4 inch. And since my seam allowance is so small, I do not need the turn back. I'm going to take it off. I could uncheck this, or I can just simply take it back to the first position. Apply that and okay it. So now we're going to make a facing. So we're just going to eye it out. We're going to use our draft pencil, and from away from the at the shoulder, away from the neck, we're going to make this about from to the next point 2 inches. Oh, we're going to add, this time I want to add a point, because I just want to make sure when I go to build out this piece that I have it exactly. Sometimes if you with different angles, if you don't say yes, add the snap to the contour, then and get your tail off. You can either, oh, let me finish my sentence. Sometimes if you don't, and when you go to build a piece, it won't build the piece. So sometimes you do have to add a point and just go back and delete it. So we're simply going to make a facing. We made an internal. This is considered an internal line. And I can go ahead and change from grade point, double click, and add a curve. I can add a curve. I don't need it to be a grade point here, just a curve point. I don't need to take any measurements between that area, and I don't need grade points for the grader. So now they're just simply curve points. And to build my piece, I'm going to go to Tools, Customize, take it off a large so I can see my Build Piece tool, Build Piece. I'm going to go ahead and touch it. And then I'm going to simply touch down inside of the facing. If I touch down on this side, if I wanted to make a lining, maybe I wanted to make a lining, I could do that. I could touch down on this piece, but that's not the side I want. I just simply want to make a facing, so I'm going to touch down. That's building the piece, okay? And that is the piece, and we're going to go back up to our large buttons. We're going to okay that, because I want to now move this piece. I'm going to move it on the facing. And this is where, when you delete your internal line, you touch the line, not the point, touch the line, not the point. If you touch the point, it just will delete the point. If you touch the line, it will delete the line. Notice that we now have grade points where we started and stopped our facing. So you just simply go back and delete the point off. Because when you add a grade point, it separates your measurements. That's one of the functions, good things about a grade point. You can see. So let's add some seam allowance to, okay, here it is with this manila color that's very hard for me. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and go to, excuse me. I want to go to the select tool, and to clear whatever function I was in, double click inside. I'm going to name this facing. And I am going to say cut to, and let's make it contrast. Let's make it contrast 1. And it is now 2. We're cutting 2, so I have to, in my bundle area, quantity of bundle, I have to say 2. It does have an opposite piece, so I'm gonna click that it does have an opposite piece because we want it to pair. Okay, so this is now our facing. We're going to add seam allowance to the end here. We're just going to say a quarter of an inch is okay. All right, so that is our and select tool. That is our facing for our shirt. Let's fix the grain. Fix the grain. I guess that is center. Okay, if that's center, it's okay. So when the grain, you're setting the grain line, and it says that fixed grain will go to the center of the piece. It is making like a square because this is the widest point. So it's the center of whatever that rectangle would be. But I don't want it right there because I see my words hanging off. So I'm simply going to say move internal. Move internal. I'm going to touch my grain line and I'm going to place it where I want it. Now all of my wording is inside my my facing. Let's go ahead and attach say our breakpoint, our first button is going to be about 3 inches down. So about 3 inches. So I'm going to put a notch here, and I'm going to also put that notch on our front because that will be our sewing, help in sewing. And it is the breakpoint. So we want to add some buttons. So from this point, I'm going to touch here, and I'm going to go in 3/4 of an inch. That is where our center is. And I'm going to create a button. Notice this internal button here. Okay. All right. If I wanted to do, I can do one at a time if I chose to, or I can use multiple buttons. So I'm going to sit this down. And so it says insert buttons between points. So the first point is going to be this one. So I'm going to insert the number of buttons that I'm going to select from this one. I'm going to say okay. And to the last one, which is going to be, we want this on 0 because we want the buttons in a straight line. And how many buttons between? So how many buttons do we want between these points? So I'm going to say since I want a total of 5 buttons, I'm going to say I want 4. So it is going to, and I do not want it to be drilled, not drilled. So I want it to just draw on. I want it to draw on, and it will give me an additional 4 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a total of 5 because this was our start point. Okay, and that is our multiples, and then this one is button. Okay, so this completes our, let's go ahead and do a yardage estimate. Edit, arrange work area. I'm just going to arrange everything on the screen with this fabric, but I want, you know what? Let's do one more thing. So this is our front, right? Let's copy this front, copy the front, copy, and then paste it, and the front will come up. If you want to move it, grab on the point, And let's now flip this piece vertically. Flip it vertically, okay? Notice that the grain line is going downward. When we save the piece, it will automatically change it. It will ask you a question if you want to keep this piece in this direction. You'll go ahead and say yes, because that's what you want. Select tool. I'm going to double click inside this piece. It is now the front left. And we're cutting one, and we have to identify that we want this right side up with RSU. We're going to do the same thing. We have to now rename this our original front, and we're going to call it front right. And it is also right side up. We're making it right side up, not because we have the buttons on it, because we're going to now add a pocket. We're going to add a pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom up. And actually, I don't need these other pieces on the screen, but I am going to go ahead and save. See, when you go to save, it asks you a question. Do you want to flip back? No, I don't want to flip it back. I want you to go ahead and save it as is. Do you want to flip back? No. And the grain line, it changed, it moved up. So now I just want to work on this one piece on the screen. So in my function keys, I'm going to say F9 if I can see them. Okay. You guys forgive me because I don't want to stand up right now and I can't see the number of the function keys. But anyway, it will be F9. So I'm just going to delete, 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 and delete. I deleted, but I did not delete from the style. I deleted, but I did not delete from the style. So from around, this is the center front. I'm going to zoom up large. And I want to have a placement for a pocket. So I'm going to take the button and away from the center front, this is the center here, I'm just going to say -2. Is that not the minus sign? Forgive me, you guys. Minus sign. -2. Say okay to create that button, and there it is. So let's make a small pocket because this area is not that big. I'm just going to estimate. So let's make a small 3.5 inch pocket. We're going to make a 3.5 inch pocket. So I'm simply going to go to my rectangle. I'm going to name it pocket. And I'm going to make it 3 by 3. I'm going to okay that. I'm going to bring it up here. And this time I want to, let's get this color off here. So let's make this pocket, let's make it, so it's going to be cut 1. And let's make it contrast 2. Okay, contrast 2. And apply that, and then I have a different color, okay? All right, so let's make a curved bottom. We've been dealing with the rectangle, but we want to touch our point here. And this is angle. We can see that this is a 90-degree angle. Perpendicular to the straight is a 90-degree angle. So that's, if you needed to check your seams or something, that's where you check that. That's angle. And then this is round our corners. So we're going to select that. And from this point, we're going to say round off 1 inch. Round off 1 inch since it's a small corner, and it gives me a round corner. And we're going to do it to this side. We're going to round off. 1 inch is still there. We're going to say okay. And there, look, I have a little curved hem pocket. So our seam allowance on our pockets, and it's going to go all the way around, is a 1/2 inch, 0.5. And we've been doing our seam allowance, I think, for this shirt, we've been doing it at 1.25. This time, I want a turn back, and I want to add notches. Turn back and notches, okay? And remember, when you make from a rectangle, I'm going to make my wording a little bit. It's already at 0.2. I'm just going to 2.5. I'm going to make it, let's make it 1.88, one backspace, 1.88. And just make it smaller. And it's one piece. We're going to apply that. But I am going to move the internal so I can see that point, get it out of the way. I'm going to select tool to get out of the whatever function I was in. I'm going to touch that internal point there, and I'm just going to delete it. Now I'm going to have the computer center the grain for me again. Okay. All right. So this is a 3-inch pocket. So our punch marks have to be 1/4 of an inch in from the top and the edge, 1/4 of an inch in on each side. Therefore, I need to reduce or make a punch placement about 2.5 inches. So my first one is down. I'm going to go to button again. I'm going to touch there, and I'm going to say minus sign, Sheryl. Okay, you guys, let me take my glasses off for a second because I can't see the top of my computer screen. Okay, minus 2.5. And okay that, and I'm going to say, yes, create the button. Okay, and there it is. There's my mark. There's my mark. Okay, and that will be the placement. I'm going to zoom up. So that will be the placement, and I'm going to move my piece, touch a point, and that's where my my pocket placement is. Okay, family. Let's get everything, edit, arrange, work area, want everything on the screen, and that is our new style. I'm going to save it. What I do want to do, let's just go a couple more minutes, just a couple more minutes. Hang with me, hang with me. I want to make sure I arrange my piece area. I want to arrange it in a nice, good order. So I want my front, I got my front right. So now I want my front left up here. I'm just simply going to slide it down. If I wanted to move something down, I can just slide it and arrange it. So I have my front right, my front left, the back, the sleeve, the collar, the facing, and the pocket. This is important. You want to stay orderly in everything you do as a pattern maker or as someone making a pattern. Stay orderly because we're going to use the Excel sheet, and this is our style number. This is our pattern card. So we're going to tell that we need the size of the button that we want on this garment is a 24 line button, and we need 5 per garment. If I had any other trim information, I can add that here. Say if I had, I don't know, say if what other kind of trim could we have? We could have instead of buttons, it could be eyelets. Instead of buttons, we could have, I don't know, we could have a brooch or something. But whatever type of trim you have would go in this area. If there was some outside work, Sometimes you send your collars and facings out for fusing. That will be outside work. So we can say send out fusing in that area. And if we had any special instructions, like if we wanted, say if this garment was going to be washed, we would say in special instructions, we would say send out for wash. Send out for wash. And then we would say Excel. But you know there is something I forgot. I did forget to put my fuse. I forgot to put my fuse on my collar and on my facing. So this is where our information will show up on as our pattern card. Okay, there's our buttons, there's our send out fusing, there's our send out wash. Okay, and I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go ahead and double click and add fuse. I'm going to just go behind the self with a comma, and I'm going to say fuse. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to do the same thing on our facing. So it was go behind contrast 1, and I need a comma. And I'm going to say fuse. And I'm going to apply that. Okay. All right. So now when we look at our now when we look at our information, it's on our collar, it says self and it says fuse. And then the information on our facing says contrast 1 and fuse. So I want to, I'm going to move internal. I want to move this gray line in a bit so I can see all the words inside my piece. Okay. Yep. Okay. So because I changed to fuse, now I need to overwrite that pattern card. So I'm simply going to go back. I'm going to go. Also, another thing, when we go to File, Attach Preview, what you have on the screen, you can say Take Current. That's what is on the screen. Or you can go to your files and you can put in a sketch that you have sketched for this style. So I'm just going to go to sketches here, and I'm just going to find something similar to this that I've already sketched. And I am just going to say, I'm going to take this one, even though it's not a long sleeve. I'm gonna say that's what I want on my pattern card. I want this picture, so I'm gonna okay that. So now when I go to Excel, I'm keeping all this information, but I should say send out wash after sewn. I'm going to say Excel. If I wanted to append this to another file, I could click this here, but I just simply want to launch Excel. Yes, I want to overwrite because the system automatically saves your pattern card on the C drive somewhere in a folder that it calls pattern cards. I'm going to okay that, and we should see the new sketch on there, and we should see fuse added on there as well when we go ahead and open up this file. So let's move this up so you can see the pattern card a little bit better. So the pattern card has to have your name, your name if you have it set up in there. and it will have the file folder where you saved it. It will have the style number. If you want a description, you can put that in. You can say button front, shirt. It has, you can add your yardage estimate here if you like. And it has the base size and shows our pattern pieces, front right, front left, back, sleeve, and collar. And it has our cut information, and it has our descriptions because we have a pocket on one side, so it's right side up. Excuse my phone for ringing. Okay, let's go ahead and finish. And then we have fuse. We have fuse on our collar and on our facing. And then we have contrast 1, which we made our facing. And then we have contrast 2, that was our pocket. And then our trim information is our button information. Outside work, we have fusing. And special instructions, we have send out wash after it's sewn. Okay, all right. We're going to, when we close it, it is automatically going to ask us if you want to save it. And we're going to say yes. And that will complete our review for today. Okay. So these were the body charts that we did our measurements on. Body charts that we did our measurements on. Can I minimize that? Okay. All right. I'm going to see you all, or go ahead and use this as a review. Just make sure I save the whole style. Make sure you save as onto your drive, wherever you have it. All right, so we're going to close out the Tuka program and back to there. So I'm so looking forward to our next class. We are going to be going over some new tools and functions, and see you all soon. Great day, great day.